the Florida Podcast Network, the voice of Florida. This is episode 6B of the Finding Florida podcast on the Florida Podcast Network, the Billie Swamp Safari Destination Adventure.
Welcome to Finding Florida, the podcast that takes you from country to the coast. Join your tour guides, an unlikely pair, city girl Jemmy and country boy Glenn, as they explore the amazing sights and sounds of the Sunshine State.
Last month, we cruised our way to Key West. If you missed it, go back and take a listen to episodes 5A and B. One of the other things that Florida is known for is its Seminole Indian history.
So this month, Glenn and I make our way across Alligator Alley to the lands of the Seminole and the adventures of Billie Swamp Safari. It's so much fun. So hop in your airboat and come along for the ride.
Hi, my name is Desiree Smith from the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Welcome to my backyard. Here on the Big Cypress Indian Reservation, there are so many things to do.
Explore 2,200 acres of untamed Florida Everglades at Billie Swamp Safari. Discover the wonders of nature with our award-winning eco tours. Learn about our rich history and culture at the Othafigi Museum. Stroll our scenic boardwalk under a 60-acre cypress dome to a living village. Take time to relax at our tranquil Big Cypress RV Resort with exceptional amenities. Enjoy our awesome accommodations. Bring your tent, RV, or stay in one of our deluxe cabins.
Let us make your next family vacation destination one to remember.
Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We have just arrived at Billie Swamp Safari, which is our destination for today.
Ooh.
It's a destination episode.
Yes.
Because this is a destination, and let me tell you, you'll drive to get here.
You will.
You'll take Alligator Alley, and then you'll get off Alligator Alley.
And you can do what we did and do alligator spotting on the way while you're on
we saw
Alligator
a lot of
Alley.
alligators.
A lot of alligators.
And from what I understand, Jemmy's going to get to play with an alligator today.
I'm so excited. But you are definitely going to have to play with something. Alligator, snakes, I'm going to force you. Something's going to happen here with Glenn as well. I promise all you guys who are listening. So, yeah, we are just arriving to Billie Swamp Safari, and I'm just so excited to be here. First impressions, it's beautiful. We are going to have a time. We just got a sneak peek at the map and the layout and everything, and I feel like it's more, I don't know what I was expecting exactly.
We are we are on the Seminole Reservation in South Central Florida, just off of Alligator Alley, actually, which is Route 75 that goes across the Everglades.
Immokalee, I think is how you say it. Immokalee.
Last night we went to the rodeo. Last night, Jemmy went to her first rodeo.
Oh my gosh.
Also, we went to the casino because we are on a reservation and we had to go.
It's two of us,
it's
so
required.
what else are we going to do? And I gave you some more good luck this time.
Yeah,
Haha.
yes,
Just like, I think this is 2 in a row now.
Yes,
you just need to bring me to every casino trip you take, because this is 2 in a row. Give you good luck.
Today, we are doing swamp buggy rides, airboat rides. We are handling critters of all kinds.
It's going to be a good time.
There are a lot of birds and animals here that we're going to see.
Wait. First of all, big thanks to Melissa Sherman, because she is phenomenal. You guys will remember her from 3B when we met her at Huddle. She was great, and she's hooked us up. Last night, we got to stay at the Big Cypress RV Resort and Campground in some VIP accommodations. It was amazing. And we just had a wonderful, wonderful time there. It was a great time. So now that we're here and we're ready to check out the adventure and everything that she told us all about Billie Swamp when we went and met her at Huddle. So are you ready to go?
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's do this.
Well, City Girl Jemmy was definitely going country the night we arrived, Friday night in Seminole country, because they were having a rodeo. So she got to experience her first rodeo, and this was what happened when she saw her first ride at the first rodeo.
Alabama Flash from Montgomery, Alabama.
That's right. You hear we are at the rodeo at the Seminole Tribe.
Oh my gosh.
And it's for Jemmy's first rodeo.
You know what? So for some reason, I knew I was coming to rodeo today, but I didn't sink in until I got here. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, whoa. I'm at a rodeo.
Yeah, this is a long way from your home.
A long way from my home. I mean, there's cattle, there are horses, there are cowboys, there are clowns.
Bull riding.
Oh my gosh, we're going to see so much fun stuff. The announcer here is phenomenal. He's on top of his game. There are girls on horseback in like super glittery, fantastic fanciness outfits.
And here we're about to do our first bull ride, too.
Oh my gosh, this is going to be
8
so
seconds.
exciting. 8 seconds they're given. 8 seconds of
bucking and bucking and bucking.
There's a bee there, guys. There's a bee. If you've seen bucking, bee with a bee, bucking.
Well, let's record right through the first one here. So he's sitting on the bull.
Yep.
Getting ready.
Where is he?
Tying his little
there he
hand
is.
in.
Okay,
Tying his little hand in.
Heels in.
All right.
Oh my
In his area code.
Usually the guys who are not as good go first, so this will be quick.
That's the name of the game.
So they saved the good ones for last one. Okay. It's the ride whole 8 seconds. And then they're also judged on style points.
So
too.
explain to the people what the point of the clown is, because there's an actual function to him.
Yeah, he's to get the bull away from the cowboy when he falls off.
Yeah, when he falls off, yeah.
To keep the cowboy from getting killed.
Gotcha.
That's his job.
So cowboys are more important than clowns.
Yes.
Check, understood. Gotcha.
Clowns are trained to do that.
All right, we're getting ready down here. That's when the rubber meets the road.
All right, we're getting ready for the first one.
The guy who has to open the gate has a lot of nerve.
We got a clown over here, too.
Oh, yeah, the second clown.
Yeah.
It's all right.
And then we have the outriders.
Oh, yeah, what are those guys doing?
They actually will rope the bull if needed, if the bull gets too out of hand.
Gotcha. Any chance the bull's going to run into the stands?
Oh, here we go.
I just realized there
There's
is
the
a
first
$2,000 bucking bull
and
in
he
front
was
of me.
on for... Oh my God.
Trampled. He got trampled.
Oh, and they just ran over.
And the clown
Oh my
got trampled.
God, the clown got trampled
Oh,
too.
God. I don't know if I can handle
Oh
this.
my God.
I don't know if I can handle it.
Okay, that guy got trampled.
Both of them got trampled.
Like pretty bad.
How do they have ribs that are still intact?
I don't know. That
Oh my
rider got
gosh.
really trampled. And this bull is not having anything of
No.
leaving either.
Several cavities.
He is pissed.
Yeah, he is pissed. He only stayed on for 3 seconds
Okay.
and the bull trampled him for
The
another 3.
horse must be like, dude, why are we going towards this thing? Get me away. Oh, and he is down in the dirt. He is not wanting to go anywhere.
Now they're going to have to pick him up.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, this is
crazy.
not usually this dramatic. So for your first one,
We're gonna say.
I'm going deep in. My
bull
first
laid down.
rodeo.
I've never seen a bull do
He's
that. He
stubborn
laid down and said, "I am not leaving."
Oh my god, that's what I would do. I'd be like, yep, I'm done. This is where I'm going to be.
I'm going to tie that around his tail, see, and they're going to try and get him to stand up. There he went.
Oh my god.
He stood up.
It works. That's
He is
true.
not leaving now.
So now you know, guys, if you ever want a bull to stand
Oh my
up,
God.
mess with its tail.
Oh, he is going to buck all the way out.
Oh my god.
Okay, that one was wild.
That was exciting, guys. I'm not going to lie. That was exciting. Holy mackerel.
Let's see. They're going to cat cowboy's going to be sore
Well,
tomorrow.
ladies and gentlemen,
First
that's a
rodeo in
little
the bag.
taste of
Oh,
what
so
you got to look
basically, he
forward
was
to
3
later
seconds
tonight.
on the bull, and the bull was 3
3
seconds on him.
and then 3 seconds on the other guy.
Bull wins round 1.
That's
I would like to say that Jemmy lasted a long time after that at the rodeo, but she didn't. We left shortly after that. That's about all she could handle. Once we got into calf roping, that was it. We were out of there. So we headed over to the Seminole Casino, and she was a little more at home there, I think. We had dinner there, and we may have played the slots a bit. You'll hear more about that at the end of the show. And it sounded a lot like this. So we're at the casino, the Seminole Casino, and I have just lost my $20 at the slot machine.
Yes, and I am up $11. And what's really funny, okay, so we are in the no smoking section
Yeah,
because
thank God
both of
they
us
had
think
one.
it's icky. And, and there are probably, if I had to quickly count, about 200 machines in the non-smoking section between this huge room and the other room, right? Now, you were over there a little while ago. I took a quick trip to the ladies' room. And you said, pick any machine this time. I wandered the entire floor, and what machine do I pick?
Exact one I was playing. And I won money on, and you're winning money
Now
on.
I'm up $11. So here we go. A lot of
And
fun.
I really like it because I am feeling very young in this crowd. I think I'm one of the younger people here, actually.
It is the silver hair happy hour. Let me tell you.
Well, then we got in the car and we drove in the evening over to the place where we stayed, which was the Big Cypress RV Resort and Campground. And they had given us cabins to stay in there that were absolutely wonderful. It was like staying in a house. It was really nice. We'll talk more about that at the wrap up of the show as well. Next morning, we got up and we headed to Billie Swamp Safari.
Walk on the wild side of Billie Swamp Safari.
As the day, Billie Swamp Safari was all about learning about the culture of the Seminoles and what they went through to live in that swampy area, and also the animals. It was all about the animals at Billie Swamp Safari. That's the name Safari. We thought we'd start today on the swamp buggy ride, and I think you're going to enjoy a little sound from this and the different animals we found along the way. And then we had a chance to catch up with our tour guide after we were done.
So if you fall off the buggy at any point, you have to wait about an hour and a half to get picked up by the next buggy. Your best bet at that point is to climb a tree. If not, just run as fast as you can. All right, we ready to head out, guys?
Yep.
Awesome.
That side eye I gave you, by the way, was because no falling out of the tram.
Oh, forgot. Who does that?
Oh, who does that?
We're in luck. It started.
Woohoo!
Yay! One of the cool things here is they do have all kind of exotic animals, water buffalo and things from India. Well, we've seen alligators, and if you're a bird lover, this is a bird lover's paradise.
Oh yeah, and I think we're right next to something called a milgai, is what Noah just said.
Well, let's find out about that.
Milgai is an antelope coming from India. It means blue bull or blue cow. They get the name because the males, like we see here, have that top gray coat, which is so rich it almost looks blue, like a blue-nosed pit bull or a Russian blue cat. Now out there, back to the right, we do have some American bison. Now at one point, they were the largest herd in North America, reaching close to 45 million in numbers. However, due to hunting and poaching, in the early 90s, it was roughly calculated that only 1,500 fully remained. Now, Conservation and Breeding Acts, we do have them back up to around 500,000 in the United States. Now this is a replica Seminole camp. We did build this out here for you guys. You guys may call these tiki huts, however, to the Seminoles, known as chiquis. It means house or home to them. Right there, we do have the sleeping chiqui. You'll notice that is a bed inside of there. It is significantly raised above the floor, stilted in fact, in case any water bugs or critters find their way in during the night. They're above it all and they're safe. Now, no Tempur-Pedic beds out here, so they did sleep on the logs like you see there, but they would soften it up with some furs and hides. You'll notice those roofs are made out of the palm fronds, tightly thatched together, creating a waterproof tight seal. They do start off at that green stage, thatch them on at that green stage, because once they start dying out like you see here, they become very brittle to work with. So if you were trying to do that while the palm frond had already pretty much shriveled and lost all its water and life, it would just break apart as you were trying to tie it together. Now this is a cooking chiqui. You'll notice the roof differs, that this one has vents at the top, one on both sides. Obviously, so the smoke has a place to go. Now you're probably saying, well, why didn't they just put a vent at the very center? That's because while that fire was going, people could track them using a high vantage point outside of here to track the smoke trail. However, those two vents allow that smoke to be dispersed evenly out, masking that fire, giving them the ability to have a fire going 24/7, 365 without fear of being caught. Now at the center of there, 4 logs make up their fire. The Seminoles always use 4 logs for their fire for 2 reasons. One, just like you guys could adjust the temperature of your burners at home, they can adjust the temperature of their flame with those 4 logs. As that fire was going, they'll take those logs, move them further away. They'll have a lower, colder burning flame. Have them in tightly like we see here, you'll have a higher, hotter burning flame. So depending on what they were cooking, they can adjust that flame temperature to not undercook or overcook anything. Also, each one of those logs points in a very specific direction, north, east, south, and west. If anybody was able to make it through the Pompash Pond, locating this village, whoever was here had to alert whoever wasn't that they were escaping. They had to do it discreetly. Now, they didn't have cell phones to text, call, hey, we're leaving. So what they will do is they'll take a 5th extra log and they'll throw it into that fire in whichever direction they were headed. So let's say they were headed west behind me. They'll take that log, place it in the west direction, and leave. That way, whenever someone came home, notice 1, they were intruders, they'd lie in wait, or 2, no one was home, highly unusual. Either way, they'd end up at that fire, see that 5th log pointing in the west, knowing they escaped, packing up whatever they had with them or whatever was left behind, leaving, and never returning to this camp. They'd rebuild another one when they felt safe again. This was compromised. People knew they were here, so they would keep moving.
That gives you a flavor of the hour-long swamp buggy tour, but we had a chance immediately after to catch up with our guide. All right, so Noah just got done with our swamp buggy tour,
I
which
did a
you heard a lot of
fantastic
audio
job, by the way.
from.
Super entertaining, all of the above. I loved it. Jump on a buddy.
Every day I get to hop up on a buggy, get to do an airboat critter shows. I work with exotic animals, bears, wolves, learn about their diets, their health, and everything. We work hands-on with vendors, such as, exotic animal vets, cattle vets, hoof stock. So it's really awesome. Just every day, you never know what you're walking
Who's that
into.
vendor when you see that their name's on the list to come in that day? You're like, yes.
Exactly.
Who's that vendor?
Who's that vendor?
Yeah.
It's whenever we see just when a vet comes out, really, whether it's a checkup, we're getting an animal taken care of, the health issue. It's just because you can prick their brain. You can learn so much more about the animal that way.
How many animals are here, Billy?
Oh.
Don't have any idea.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
I would say how many are like more control that you've given names whether they're official names or not? How's that?
Well, we have several with official names. The wolves, the bears, the bobcat and servals. The otters are too many to name, so they're just the otters. We have a capybara in the critter show.
You know how I feel about capybara.
Oh yeah, he's a sweetheart.
You've never seen one before, and I'm like, yep, they're the biggest rodent in the world, right?
They are the largest rodent
I want
in the
to
world.
snuggle. I want to snuggle.
Yeah. You want to snuggle until they start chewing on it.
Okay, I'll snuggle. I'll wear a bubble suit.
You have to live in a cinder block house completely in order to avoid them chewing on everything.
To Billie Swamp Safari, what is the one thing they need to look out for, make sure they do? Got to check it off the list. I know you can kind of do everything in one day, right?
You can do the all-day package. I highly suggest. You see all the shows, you do the airboat, you do the buggy. But if you had to pick one thing to do, like if you were coming, you had to do a quick stop, you had about an hour and a half, 2 hours to spare, hop up on a buggy.
Yeah, I agree.
The airboats, it's an airboat ride. It's not a tour. They go quick. It's fun. You go around those corners
you see
fast.
Some gators.
Exactly. You see some gators, but when you're on a buggy, you're there. You're out in the wild. You're this far away from it.
I would agree with you.
You get to stop by the Chickies.
Exactly. You get to stop at your hotel for the night and everything. But no, I love the buggies. I'm one of the key buggy drivers out here, so I am a little bit biased.
There you go.
But if you have a quick stop and you have about 2 hours to spare out here, definitely hop up on a buggy. It's worth it. You get to go an hour out there, check out the scenery, the animals. Yeah.
It was neat being in the canopy out there too.
Even if you see one or two animals, you still see a lot more of what they lived out there in, and you also get a lot more closer look of what true wilderness looks like here in the Everglades.
Yeah, and you know what we determined while we were out there is we don't want to live out there.
Yeah, exactly.
We would not have made good Seminole Indians.
The greatest thing ever is being out here at 7:30, 8 o'clock when I get to work and hearing Trump, our large gator in his habitat over there, bellow in the morning. Wow. It sounds like you're in Jurassic Park. I couldn't have asked for a better job, definitely. The tribe treats you really well. We are directly employed by the STUF, Seminole Tribe of Florida. This is owned by them, but they treat us well out here. Like I said, every day is a new thing. You never know what you're going to get, but that's the variety people need in their life to love their job.
Well, you say you couldn't have found a better job.
Exactly.
I don't think we could have found a better swamp buggy tour guide. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, thanks so much. Well, we just got done with the ickiest part of the day.
One of the best parts of the day.
The ickiest parts of the day. Now, we just went and saw the snake show.
Yep.
And I don't like snakes at all.
And they were mostly venomous snakes,
yeah,
so he was extra freaked out.
Big venomous snakes. And we did discover that there are only 4 venomous snakes in Florida that are native to Florida.
No, native to Florida, because there are a lot more than our native.
A lot have been brought in.
Exactly.
But what all of you may not know is that Jemmy used to own a couple snakes.
Oh, yeah, I did. When I was in high school, I owned a ball python, also known as a royal python, and a Burmese python.
Why? Why? You couldn't own a doggy or a little doggy or a little
I was
kitty?
not allowed to have a dog or a
little
cat.
hamster,
I was not allowed a hamster,
or
a
a
dog,
rat.
a cat, any of the normal stuff. My parents, when I said, I want a snake, it was a little bit of a fight, but eventually they caved and said, okay, you can get a snake.
Your parents said yes to a ball python,
They did
but
say
not
yes
to a hamster?
python. Dude, I had the best Halloween costume in high school that year. I dressed as Cleopatra, and I brought my ball python to school. I carried it around to school with me all day long.
You got some cred that day, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
And no guys came anywhere near her.
Nope. Or ever again.
Or ever again. She's a creepy snake girl.
The creepy snake girl. But the show was awesome. Trey was great. He led the show, and it was very informative.
What kind of snake?
You touched the corn snake.
I don't ever touch snake. I've never touched snake before.
Not only did he touch one, what else did you do?
I held one.
He held it
And
in his own hand.
There's photo proof.
There is. No, I wasn't recording at all. I just did it for fun. No, there's totally photo, and video proof that he actually held a snake. I was so proud of him, and yeah, it was a great time.
Yeah, I don't want to do it again. I'm a good man.
All right, snakes are done for the day.
Snakes are done. But it was a fun show. The guy's very funny. Yeah, Trey's very funny.
Yeah, good time.
Good time. All right, on to the next thing.
Yep.
So many critters, you wonder what to say, but you can sample a few at the Swamp Water Cafe. It's wild.
So we are at the Swamp Water Cafe now in the Billie Swamp Safari, and we just got our basket full of fry bread and honey butter, sweet butter, what they call it? Honey butter. And
Fry
Glenn has
bread is a
been
staple here
super excited to eat
The
it.
Seminole tribe.
Mm-hmm. And I've never had any before.
It looks like bread. Like fried
did
bread,
you eat this as
actually.
a kid or something? How do you know about this?
I ate it at a reenactment one time.
Oh, and he's eating some now on audio.
Oh, it's really good. This is really good. And the honey butter makes it all right,
Super delicious.
Your turn to try your first fry bread.
Oh, okay.
All right. With honey butter.
You're going to have to feed it to me.
I got to feed it to her because her hands are full of recorders. So there we go. It's good, isn't it?
Kind of like funnel
It's
cake.
soft. It's very soft. It's kind of like pound cake. You're right.
I was going to say funnel cake, and that's
Funnel
actually
cake.
what I said, but you thought I said...
funnel cake, pound cake, a little bit of both,
A little
actually.
heavier than funnel cake.
Yeah.
It's really delicious.
Yeah, it's really good, though. So we recommend the fry bread at the Swamp Water Cafe.
It's like kind of like a beignet.
It does kind of actually have a beignet thing.
Yeah, it's quite
Not quite
yummy.
as fluffy, a little denser.
Yeah.
It has that flavor.
Highly recommended.
Yeah, and this comes from a girl who's eaten a lot of beignets in New Orleans.
What are you saying about me?
I am saying you've eaten a lot of beignets in New Orleans. Our main course has just arrived here at the Swamp Water Cafe. And tell everybody what you got.
All right, so I got a sampler platter, and I have probably my second ever bites of alligator, my multitudinous ever bites of catfish, and my very first ever bite of frog's legs.
Now, this
Doing
is
it,
very
guys,
funny.
I'm doing it.
This is very funny because I hate fish, but I've eaten frog's legs and you haven't.
I know.
And they taste like chicken, so we're going to see if you think they taste like chicken. And I'm going to try one again because it's been about 40 years since I ate mine.
And if anyone remembers back on 2B, I believe it was, when we took our animal tour along Route 1,
You made me eat sushi.
forced Glenn to eat sushi. One of the best moments of my life. So this is him getting me back just a little bit. I don't think it's quite as bad for me, to be honest.
No, I don't think it
I
is.
really should play it up more. If I thought ahead, I would have played it up more.
And I actually got the fry bread that we just tasted and told you about. Only it's called Indian fry bread.
Indian taco, I think they call it.
That's right, Indian taco, and it has chili on it. It has all the taco fixings. It even has the sour cream and the salsa.
And it's all on a bed of fry bread.
But it's on the bed of fry bread, so it's double fry bread for me today.
And he has stolen a frog's
hope that
leg.
Jennifer doesn't listen.
Hear this.
I have a frog's leg, and I'm going to try an alligator bite, which is really gross, but I'm going to try.
Okay, so should we try that together?
frog-
we have
all right.
dipping sauces.
No, I'm
Would
not
you like to
doing
try
that.
dipping
No,
sauces? We're going to eat things raw, right?
Straight up. Do it plain,
Have them straight up. Okay.
All right, I'm doing the alligator bite.
I'm going to do an alligator bite
All
too.
right, here we
okay,
go,
here we
everybody.
go. 1, 2, 3 on the alligator bite. Okay. Tastes like chicken.
I'm sure this isn't chicken. It doesn't even taste a little bit fishy. The fish flavor comes later, but it mostly tastes like breading.
Yeah.
All right, let's try the frog's leg.
Come on, do you want to do catfish with me? Am I doing catfish with me?
I tried catfish. I don't like catfish.
He doesn't like fish. Come on.
No, but
This
we're
might be
gonna
the
try the
hardest
frog's
one on
leg.
the plate. Actually, now that I think about it, try the catfish.
No, frog's leg. Here we go.
Wait. Oh my god. Wait. I can't do it. It's so flimsy.
You eat the fat part at the top.
So flimsy. Oh my god. All right. I'm diving in.
Okay, guys. I tried this years ago at a fancy restaurant, and it tasted like chicken. If you closed your eyes, eat it. Go ahead.
Wait, no, because I feel like you're about to say, but this time it tastes like, and I want to know.
Chicken.
Okay, so it still tastes like chicken?
Close your eyes and eat it, and you'll never know it wasn't chicken.
All right, here
it tastes like a chicken leg. Just go ahead. Come on, be brave. Tell me it doesn't taste like chicken. I don't think she thinks it tastes like chicken.
Okay, so
I really don't.
Here's the truth. Okay, here's the truth. Wait a minute.
You can see your face.
Here's the truth. So it tastes like chicken. This is true. However, as I'm eating it, I can't help but picture. Do you remember the old cartoon frog that had the dancing? He danced around with his top hat.
Yeah.
Hello, my baby.
No, this is a flag.
It's weirding me out.
Tastes like chicken.
But it's frog.
I ate frog's legs. Give it to me. Here.
Okay.
Do you like it?
I do.
All right.
I think I do. We'll find out in 5 minutes if I don't have it thrown up. Then the answer is yes.
All right.
On to catfish and French fries and other normal
They
things.
do give you a lot of food here at
A lot.
at Swampwater Cafe, so definitely eat here if
Yes.
you come to Billy's.
Absolutely.
Billy.
Billie Swamp Safari.
Yes, thank you.
Swamp Safari. Bears, otters, panthers, and snakes. Alligator wrestling, a lot of skill that takes. So many critters, you won't know what to say, but you
What we're
can
going to do
sample
today for you guys, we are going to be putting on a critter show for you guys. Basically, these two here, they have the most important job in the critter show. Alright? Basically, these guys here are going to be pulling all the animals out, and if it bites anybody, it's going to bite them and not me. Okay, that's why they have the most important job. Alright guys, are you guys ready to see Cuddles?
Yay!
Yeah? Woo! Alright. Cuddles is the sweetest little kitty cat you will ever see in your life.
Okay, I want to take it home.
Oh, yeah. You like cats? Yeah? Okay, this one's just like a cat at home. Look at this kitty cat. Look at this kitty cat. Take this one home. This is Cuddles right here. Now, Cuddles is the kitty cat.
No, he's not.
Okay, this is a striped skunk. Striped skunks, they're found all over North America. And they are famous for smelling, right? So, the way they spray, okay, that spray that comes out has nothing to do with going to the bathroom. Alright, that stuff that comes out comes from a special gland. And it produces an oil-based liquid. This liquid will shoot about 10 to 15 feet through the air. This is a New York City sewer rat right here. Alright?
Oh, he's so cute.
Okay, well, yeah, they get that big, but this guy here, he's going to get much bigger. Yes, lady, you know what he is?
A capybara.
Yes, he is a capybara. Capybaras are the largest rodent in the world. Now, capybaras, they can reach up to a size of 100 to 120 pounds. That is one big giant rodent. And these guys, they live down in South America, not in New York, all right? So you don't have to worry about it, right? Down in South America, when they live in the wild, they don't live by themselves. They live in groups or herds between 5 to 100 in a group. That's a lot of rodents. Now, raise your hand if you ever had a pet rodent. Anybody ever had a pet rodent? You guys did. Now here's the question, what kind of rodent?
Oh, hamsters.
Hamsters. All right. Now, if you did clean the cage, did it stink? Oh yeah, a lot, right? Now, use your imagination. Imagine your hamster this big and 100 of them and no one cleaning up behind him with a shovel. Imagine how bad that would smell. I started thinking about this and I was like, man, I feel bad for the people in South America. And then I found out what these guys do. What they will do is they will go to the bathroom in the water. And that way they hide the scent of their waste. Now they're not trying to be nice to the neighbors or anything like that. What they're trying to do is protect themselves. There's a lot of animals that want to eat these things. Okay, you got jaguars, which are really big cat. You also have caiman, which look like alligators. And you have giant green anacondas. So when you see these guys on TV, usually they're being swallowed by the giant green anaconda.
So we just got done with the critter show, which was a lot of fun. They brought out a bunch of different critters.
Mm-hmm.
And Noah, who you heard from earlier in the show, was there.
He was the
very
assistant.
Funny. He can have his own podcast.
I told Glenn, he's like He's like the human version of Olaf from Frozen.
Yes, he did have the same sense of humor, actually. But we saw a bunch of different things. A skunk, a big-ass skunk.
Oh, it was so cute. He was all curled up. He
we'll
was
see
adorable.
pictures of this in the show notes because Jemmy petted everything.
Everything, including a woodchuck. There's also a woodchuck there.
Got an alligator.
Alligator.
A crocodile.
Yes.
Crocodile.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then they brought out a total surprise, one of my favorites. So if you remember back to our animal adventure in 2B, there's something I admitted to being giddy about, and that's the capybara. And they brought in a capybara, and he was so cute. We got to watch Noah feed him.
That's a large sewer rat from South America. I mean, very large.
We got to watch him, Noah feed him a full corn on the cob, and it was adorable. I had a good time.
Very cute. They didn't bring him around to meet people, though. The capybara didn't look like he was.
Oh, he has his front teeth are just humongous. Oh, stay away from those.
Fingers would be gone.
Yikes. They also brought out a baby alligator, a baby crocodile. So we got to see a ton of critters in the critter show. It was a good time.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. And now we have to go on our next stop here at Billie Swamp Safari.
So we are here with Chris and Richie, and Chris has just told us that he takes all of his kids to Billie Swamp Safari. So is this Richie's first time here? Is this your first time bringing him?
Richie's first time.
Oh my gosh, Richie, are you having fun today, kiddo?
Yeah.
You having a good time? Did you like the critter show?
Yeah.
Yes, he
Yeah, good. What is your favorite part about bringing your kids here? What do you think that they experienced and they gained from being here at Billie Swamp?
I think a little bit of the history of Florida and just our true native environment and all that good stuff. And I think that's really important to expose them to as much as possible. And different things, and this is one of them.
Absolutely. And you're from Fort Lauderdale. How long of a trip did it take you to get out here?
About an hour.
About an hour?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not bad. That's a great little mini day trip.
Great day trip. I mean, we'll be here for a couple hours, have lunch, and then take off and be home to relax in the afternoon.
Thanks a lot.
Have fun, guys.
Outside of Billie Swamp Safari, take an airboat ride to where the gators play, board a swamp buggy.
So the next thing in our really cool adventure today here at Billie Swamp Adventures in the Everglades is something that you have to do when you're in the Everglades, no matter what, and that's an airboat ride.
Woo!
So we get to go on an airboat ride. Have you ever been on an airboat ride?
I have, but when I was like 12.
It's been a while. Do you remember much about it?
I was cold, and it was very fast and windy, and we saw critters like gators and stuff. I'm excited to do it again.
That's what we're going to do it again.
Fresh memories.
We'll do some recording while we're on the airboat if you can hear us because it's very loud. Do you remember how loud it is?
It'll probably just be another one of those episodes where Jemmy's screaming again.
So here we go on the airboat.
Woo!
Well, we just got done with the airboat ride, which you just heard a little bit of the sound of, which is pretty much we couldn't talk during.
No, and no,
really loud
because we had earplugs in or ear cleaning tools, as I called them, in our ears, so we couldn't really hear each other. But wow, the sights were beautiful.
Yeah, it was pretty. All the swamp land was beautiful. We saw a ton of alligators.
I mean, talk about true natural Florida.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, if you want to see some nature
you're a bird
preserves.
watcher, oh my God, there were a million birds.
You know, I never really truly appreciated the way that how gracefully they take
Cranes
off
and,
until you see it so close.
There were so many different
beautiful.
types of cranes and birds and crows.
Oh,
and
those
just everything.
those little black ones with the red heads.
Yeah, some kind of hen. Yeah, some kind of hen.
I'm like, they're common something. I'm like,
common hen.
Exactly, Glenn. I'm not impressed. They're common by my area. I see them every day. But yeah, how many alligators do you think? You know, we should have counted the alligators that we
there
spotted.
was a lot of alligators out there.
Yeah, at least
and we saw
12.
babies, a whole hatchling of babies. Are they called hatchlings? I don't know.
But it sounds good. It sounds pretty
whatever,
accurate.
yeah.
Whatever it was. But there were turns, and so we got to, and it would move with the water, and the turn almost like you felt like you were surfing a little bit. And
we saw water buffalo.
Water buffalo? That's one was really close, actually.
And the other things we saw there were not water buffalo. I don't know what they were.
I don't know what they were either.
They looked more deerish.
Yeah, they did look more like, I don't know, but there was wildlife galore everywhere of all kinds. Water-based, land-based, air-based, all kinds of water.
It was a lot of fun.
Wildlife, yeah.
I do like airboat rides. They're a lot of fun.
It was beautiful. And chilly. Still cold. They're still cold on airboat rides. It's still chilly.
Bears, otters, panthers and snakes, alligator wrestling, a lot of skill that takes. So many critters, you wonder what to say.
So here we are. We have just survived a trip through the safari at Billie Swamp.
I touched snakes.
He did. Oh my gosh. And we had a great time. And we are about to do the very last thing on the list, which is check out all the animal exhibits that they have right outside near the parking lot.
And we're at the Arctic wolf right now, who is very happily sleeping in the shade.
Yep, he is.
I was thinking that's the nice thing to do at this point. We just found a grizzly bear, of all things, which I didn't expect to see here.
No.
And he's eating, I don't know what.
I don't know what either, but he is into it, whatever it is.
Do you think it's the big rat from next door?
Oh, don't say that.
No? Oh, okay.
He's not eating a capybara. No, see, I see an orange rind. He is eating some fruit.
He's eating fruit. Apparently, he is like our friend Jamie, and he's a vegetarian.
Actually, it says over here on the sign, diet omnivore. So he eats a little bit of everything.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, look at that.
Look at that. So this is a 2,000-pound grizzly bear called Noogie.
Hi, Noogie.
Hey, Noogie.
I don't know if I'd want a Noogie from him. I think it hurt.
Yeah, I think it would too.
All right.
And we saw this little guy earlier.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, how many? Oh, there's a baby. There are 2 babies.
There are babies.
There's 3 babies.
You got to tell everybody what their baby's up.
Okay, they are.
Oh, you can't walk away from the microphone.
You gotta keep up with the action. There are 3 babies, capybara babies, and you remember from earlier that I was loving on me on some capybaras. I love cappies.
Which are
I think they're
basically
just so
very,
cute.
very large rats.
Oh my good lord!
And there is baby capybaras,
They're
which
so
look like
cute.
smaller rats.
Oh my goodness! Look at
Even
him.
the baby capybaras
Oh,
are
he's
huge.
riding back. He's ready to go take him over for a ride through the water. That's so cute. Oh my gosh, I love these guys. I don't know why, I just do. They're rodents, but they're super cute.
Very, very large 100-pound rodents with big teeth in the front. Oh,
Don't
here
hate.
comes the black bear. Okay, is this fair that they put the very large rodents next to the bears?
I know, they
It's
must
just
be
like teasing the bears.
and anxiety all the time. Well,
Yeah.
for the bear, yeah, it's unfair,
Yes.
but for them too.
Yeah.
They're living under anxiety knowing it's all it is a fence, a very thin fence.
And look at the baby going,
the little
blah,
baby.
blah, 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 blah. You can't eat me, Mr. Bear.
little
He's over there
baby.
sticking his tongue out at the bear.
Oh,
Yeah, we're ending with the otters because for some reason we always end up with otters in
and we
our
love them
adventures.
both. Both of us love. Oh, look at this one. He's so cute.
I know, they are cute.
Hello. Oh, look
Oh,
at
they're
him
squeaking
peeping.
at us too.
He's peeping.
He is
Yes,
peeping.
honey.
Oh, here comes his friend.
Oh,
What are you guys doing? You're going to feed us?
Yes.
Oh, all the friends are coming
Yes.
over.
Now, we actually did record a very scandalous video of the otters earlier, which was only being posted in a very secretive place.
Yes.
It is not meant for family
No,
programming.
apparently otters are kinky.
But
That's all we're
oh
gonna
my
say.
goodness. They made a lot of those peeping noises. It was really funny. But they're so cute. They're just playing in this water. They're probably just having the time
I
of their
want
lives.
half the energy of an otter.
Oh my gosh.
I would be in so good shape. So you have to take a walk around when you come to Billie Swamp Safari. You have to take a walk around the animal enclosures.
Mhm.
And these animals are very well fed and it looks like very well taken care of.
And it's a nice, peaceful way to end the day.
Yes, it is a beautiful way to end the day.
A little while. Take a walk on the wild side of Billie Swamp Safari.
Well, we certainly did have an interesting time and a fun adventure.
Fantastic time.
Yeah, we did. This was a little different adventure for us than the others we've been on.
Yeah, this was more like a destination, I think is how, when you framed it that way, I'm like, yeah, it is really just like a destination spot full of adventure.
It was. And, it wasn't us trying to accomplish 1,000 things in a day. We really did kind of just relax and enjoy the whole thing. And I don't think where we ended up, at Billie Swamp, I don't think you can be stressed there.
No, I think they purposely made they're chilled.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know if it comes from the culture or what, but they're just relaxed and everybody was
And
there
take
to have
all
a
the
good time.
stress of going to the parks now at Universal or
Oh my
Disney,
gosh.
which is stressful. I don't care what anybody says. Cause
It is tons of crowds, tons of lines.
and waiting in lines.
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
why
exactly.
is standing being bored waiting in line so stressful? But it is.
Because you see your life passing before your eyes. There's nothing you can do about it.
Exactly. I mean, we waited in line 4 hours for the one ride when we went to Animal Kingdom.
Oh yeah, that
day.
looked like torture. I remember getting like the
It was half the
updates every
day.
10, 15 minutes. And you're updating me on the other people bailing out of the line.
Yeah.
We just lost 3 more.
And it's one of those things when you're waiting in lines like that, you keep going, well, I've got to be close. I'm not getting out now. I'm in 2 hours. And then you're in 3 hours and you go, well, hell, I'm not getting out now.
Exactly.
And then it's 4 hours and you would go, I wish I'd gotten out at 2 hours.
No,
you know?
we had none of that. Everything was just so boom, boom, boom. It was so, in fact, it was scheduled. You know, you walk up there and they actually have scheduled times for all the performances and the exhibits
rides.
And everything. And they actually scheduled everything right out for us. It was so awesome.
It was really cool. But first, we started out the night before. We went up there the night before, and we went to the rodeo. You heard a little bit of that sound earlier, but we need to talk about that a little bit because it was Jemmy's first rodeo. Now, this was a small rodeo. There weren't a lot of people in the stands, so you didn't get the...
Wait. I have to pause. I just want to frame this a little bit because just in case there are people listening who don't know that you're the founder of the Horse Radio Network, if anyone's missed that somehow, ever since the day you brought me on board to be a producer on the Horse Radio Network, you've been dying to get me to a horse thing.
Yes,
and
I have.
finally go to a horse thing.
Yes.
So this was my very first horse thing with Glenn. So it was a pretty big moment.
Yeah, it was. And it was probably not the wisest thing to bring you to first because rodeos can be a little...
it was
intense. And then, of course, the first thing we see is a bull rider come out. And I got to say, you want to describe it?
That bull had he was on a mission. And that mission was to do whatever the heck it wanted to do. Which included throwing off that rider pretty quickly and then trampling all.
It was the worst I have seen in all the rodeos I've gone to.
Oh,
he came off at about 3
right
seconds,
off the bat.
and then the bull pounded on him. He was right over him and pounded on him for another 3 or 4 seconds. And then he went off after the clown.
The clown!
And managed to knock him over, too, I think.
Yeah, it was a sight. Oh, I felt so bad. I was talking about cringing and wincing and...
Yeah, that was her first thing she sees at the rodeo.
And then the ambulance was there not that much later.
It wasn't good.
It was wild. It was wild.
Good.
But then there were like girls in these beautiful costumes coming out on their horses with their flags, and they started playing... I meant to point it out while we were sitting there, but the music they were playing, it was from Dancing with Wolves. So it was this beautiful, gorgeous, make you feel so American music. You know, it was a really...
That's very common at the rodeos. Everything's all about being American.
I'm not surprised, but it was awesome. There was something about that.
Except then we got to calf roping.
Oh, God. Why'd you remind me?
Which?
I had pushed that far into the recesses of my brain, Glenn. Why did you remind me?
Let's just say that Jemmy spent the entire calf roping time, which there seemed to be 50 of them. There was a lot of calf ropers. She spent that entire time with her head tucked deep into my shoulder.
Oh, it's not even exaggeration, guys. He means absolutely. I was pulling on the fabric to cover the sides of my face. Look,
there's a difference between city girl and country boy right there.
Okay, so I think you made a good point that they usually bring out the guys who really know what they're doing kind of later.
Mm-hmm.
And so the first couple were rough to watch. I mean, those calves.
It didn't go smoothly.
Just babies. I'm like, but they're just babies. Why are you hurting the babies? But then when you got to the guys who kind of knew what they were doing a lot better, it wasn't awful to watch. It was actually really exhilarating. But yeah, it was. It's going to take a little while.
We have to remember, too, for all you city folk, that we have to remember that rodeos were developed as a way to practice and to show off their skills from what people did every day on the ranches. Yeah. This was everyday life in the early 1900s on the ranches.
I try not to think about that, Glenn.
Yeah, but it's true. It's still the life on ranches.
I know, but those babies, they're just babies.
You got to tackle the babies to brand them and give them their shots and stuff.
Oh, yeah, that makes me feel better. You got to tackle them to burn them and stick it with needles.
So that was Jemmy's night. We had to leave shortly after that because she was traumatized. So And then we had the drive to go out to the nice, very nice, lovely campground we went to and stayed at.
Wait, we went somewhere actually before the rodeo.
Oh, we went to the casino.
Yes. Oh, we had fun in there. Let me tell you. Wow, that was. It was huge. I mean, because the last casino I'd been to obviously was on the cruise. It's smaller because it's on a cruise. But that had
and
been
this casino was nothing compared to the ones in Vegas.
I can only imagine.
It was
but
about
it definitely had that authentic casino feel.
That smell.
The carpets, the brass railings, the smoke and all of that. But it was so much fun.
Yeah. What we have found on the cruise and at this casino adventure is my little co-host could be a little gambler.
I really shouldn't be left to my own devices in the casino for too long.
I didn't, you notice.
I know. Don't put me on much more than the penny slots.
Although you
and walk
saved
away.
my butt. You actually won money back for me. So I was losing and you won it back. So you did save my butt.
Yeah, I am your little good luck charm. I think I got you some money when we bet good old lucky number 13 on the cruise.
Oh, in the casino, the cruise, I ended up $100 ahead. So yeah. Thank you for
welcome. So yeah, that was fun being in the Seminole.
And it was a typical casino. Senior citizens about 80 years old with their little cords plugged into the machines, which I think give them a jolt every once in a while to keep them going.
Yeah, and then but then you're right. The campground was beautiful when we went over there. It was a little eerie. I haven't been to too many campgrounds in my life.
That's a Big Cypress RV resort and campground. We'll give them another plug.
Oh yeah, they were fantastic.
We stayed in a beautiful cabin that was more like a house. It was. It
really was. It was such a good time, and it was just a little different. There was no one really.
This is surreal. So every campground I've ever been to, we used to do a lot of camping. We belong to a camping club. There's fires going, and people are sitting by the campfire making s'mores and all this stuff. We walked around that campground, and almost every site was full. We didn't see one person.
That was the one.
It was 8 o'clock at night.
The smell of those campfires.
I know, it was nothing.
Nothing.
These people are in bed by 8 o'clock at night, and they were all the big RVs.
They had some fancy RVs. Yeah. Wow,
they were the $500,000 ones, but they don't come out of them apparently.
Apparently not.
And then we found out that fires weren't allowed for some reason. I don't know. But the next morning, though, I got up before you did, and I went outside. Yeah. Oh no! During the night, you got up.
So I don't know what got into me, but I often wake up in the middle of the night for random reasons, and so the same thing happened over there. Found myself up. I'm like, let me just go outside, take a little walk. You guys know me and my early morning adventures. I got used to them from the cruise. So I go outside. I'm just sitting there minding my own business and taking it in, sitting on a chair, and it's nice and beautiful and fresh, clean, crisp air, and it's lovely. And then I just started getting really super paranoid because I realized it's really dark out here.
And I'm in the middle of nowhere. And I'm in
the city, and what the hell am I doing out here? And I turned around. I wanted to go exploring a little bit, and I turned past this one sign.
And it was dark.
And all of a sudden, there was just dark woods in front of me, and I was like, oh my god, I hear a crack. I'm like, what made that crack? What was that? And I ran back inside. I was done. That was it. And then you happened to point out that perhaps the reason I got that eerie feeling, because what's not too far from sorry to mention this one, what's not too far from the RV
right across the street is the prison. So, I mean, the prison was literally right across the street.
Sensing something.
And there was a canal right there, probably filled with alligators. So you're lucky you weren't eaten. You weren't alligator bait.
So much could have gone wrong in just that 5 minutes. But anyways, the next morning, Glenn, what were you saying?
So I get up, and all the people, all the seniors that retire there, were out walking at it about 7 o'clock.
Yeah,
there were like 100 of them. So
they're all going the same direction, like a
herd
marathon.
It was funny, but I have to say that I enjoyed Billie Swamp and everything we did there probably more than I thought I was going to. It was a relaxing day, which for us is unusual and was welcome actually, because we get so many.
One of those things that I left, I was like, oh, I gotta take Jordan here.
Yeah,
as soon as I was like,
there were more animals there than I thought there'd be. Didn't you think that?
Yeah, there were. They had their not only their exotic animal exhibit, but then they also had their petting zoo.
There were tons of birds of all kinds.
Yeah. They had
that
those
lousy snake you made me hold.
those otters that were getting it on, guys. If you haven't joined FPN Insiders on Facebook yet, go in there because I posted a video that you just got to see it to believe it. These two otters, holy cow. Talk about sex education, okay? It's very interesting. And they were having the time of their lives. Tell ya. Video is up at FPN Insiders on Facebook. You got to see
Jemmy
it.
doesn't get out of the city much.
No!
So we, I think if you're going as a family, you can make a day there. I mean, the airboat ride was a lot of fun. And then
met Chris and Richie. They pretty much, it was that man and his son were with us like the entire time. They were on the same schedule.
Yeah, that's right. And then we saw, and I like the swamp buggy tour too. It'd be interesting to do that in the summertime when it's actually full of water. But then it's going to be full of bugs too. Keep that in mind. Wear your bug spray because you're in a swamp. But yeah, it was
like look out, try to spot alligators and stuff like that. And a little I liked about the swamp buggy tour, which I don't know why I didn't really think about it until it started happening, was it was able to kind of go into the shallow water a little bit, and so we were bouncing from rock to water. It was really, really cool. It was very exotic.
It was, and they have all the exotic animals there too that you can see that you're not expecting in the swamps of Florida.
Yeah, like those bison, and I don't even know whatever else we saw, water buffalo or something, but there were some pretty cool animals out there for sure. Beautiful birds, so many birds everywhere. It was awesome.
So what was your takeaway of the whole? Well, first of all, the one thing too, when we went from the casino, I wanted to mention this, when we went from the casino to the campground that night after the road, after she just about broke my arm at the rodeo, we drove for 45 minutes and literally did not see another car.
Yeah, I started to get really nervous.
I mean, that is, you're in the country when you drive for 45 minutes on beautiful road, straight, flat road.
You know what I was thinking?
But there was nobody.
I almost can guarantee you, as a kid, some point, I must have taken a field trip through the Everglades or something on a school bus. I was thinking about that. You were a something-year-old school bus driver in charge of like 40 kids in the middle of nowhere before GPS. You really had to have some faith, man.
Yeah, and I think our GPS gave out a couple times out there too. It was can't connect. We were out in the middle of nowhere. There was not a lot of cell service out there either.
And with alligators on either side of you, that is not someplace you want to get broken down. Tell you. Ugh. No.
Yeah, that was the longest drive I've ever gone on without seeing another car or human being.
Yeah, but it was so, every bit of it, I had a really good time. I liked that there weren't very many lines. There weren't any lines. No. It wasn't crowded. And one thing I liked about my Legoland trip that I noted was that like you kind of got to see the same people throughout your time because it's not too big. And it was the same thing in Billie Swamp. You kind of got to see familiar faces over and over again, and it was really a nice experience. I highly recommend.
And I got to gross you out eating something for a change.
God,
frog's legs are now her favorite. I ordered the shipment sent to you, so you're going to get a nice chest here tomorrow. Here's a girl that eats sushi and every kind of fish imaginable.
Oh my God! See, I don't think it's a weird situation we're in, Glenn, because I can't really be like, you won't eat sushi, but you'll eat frog's legs, and then you can't really be like, you won't eat frog's legs, but you'll eat sushi. We're both in the wrong.
I think we both agreed that the alligator bites pretty much tasted like breading.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't really have a lot of taste. I didn't think. Tasted like breading.
Was satisfying. It's good, but it was the breading.
Yeah. So your takeaway from here?
This was a destination adventure. It wasn't really, the challenge adventure or a road trip adventure. Like the road trip was getting us there, and then the experience was being there. So we didn't really have a challenge per se. And I got to thinking as we were kind of halfway through our time at Billie Swamp, like, why don't we put the challenge on our listeners?
Okay.
Yeah, let's turn the tables on them a little bit. And I came up with a little bit of a scavenger hunt. So while we were running around, I took note of a few sites that I thought were that they like stood out to me and I thought might be good for a scavenger hunt might be fun for listeners to try to find when they go and check out
bringing
Billie
their
Swamp
kids or
Oh yeah, it could be a lot of fun. So there only have 5 things on the list, okay? But here it is, and everything will be explained in the show notes. So if you want to take the show notes along with you when you go to Billie Swamp, the first thing I want you guys to find is Sam Jones and the Clan Animals. It is a big old statue that you can see on the hillside while you're on the airboat ride. I got a little bit of a picture of it. I was like, ooh, what's that? Melissa, Sherman, what is that? And she said, that is Sam Jones and the Clan Animals. So the second thing, Clan Animals. Clan Animals. And the second thing is, as you're waiting to go on one of the rides, there is a sign that translates the word thank you in native Seminole language. So find that sign and practice your pronunciation. The third thing
So can you say it?
Oh, shoot. I knew you were going to ask me.
Shonabish.
Shonabish.
Shonabish. Yeah, that's right. Shonabish.
I'm putting the emphasis on the second syllable.
Yeah, she's saying that with confidence, but she has no idea.
I have no idea whatsoever. All right. And this one I do know because I did find this out. The answer to what the state tree of Florida is, and you can find that out by asking any tour guide who you run into at Billie Swamp Safari. So ask someone that. And, of course, number 4 on the list, got to get some fried bread.
The restaurant there was really good. It really was really good. Yeah.
It was a good experience.
It's not what you expect when you go to a place like that where the restaurants are sometimes iffy. This is really good. Right. They have a chef in the back, and it's really good. Yeah.
Clean and yummy and friendly. Yeah, it was really well done. Well done. So eat some fry bread. And the last thing is there's actually a big old alligator over there somewhere.
He's like 20
in Billie
feet
Swamp
long.
Safari, and his name is Trump. And I just thought that was hilarious.
Did we ask if he got the name Trump before or after Trump?
I think we asked.
Before.
I think the answer was before. Yeah. So I remember being a little disappointed that it was before.
And I don't think it really had anything to do with our president. It was something else.
No, it was random.
Yeah.
To get a selfie with Trump the alligator.
He's
so
huge.
those are your 5 things. And like I said, details will be in the show notes.
And if you're really brave, stay at one of the, what are they called? The little huts?
The chickies.
The chickies they have there along the swamp. If you're really, really brave.
Yeah, and bring lots of bug spray.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
and
my
maybe
prediction.
some snake repellent.
So yeah, we had a great time, and you guys will have an awesome time too if you go to Billie Swamp Safari. So special thanks to Melissa Sherman. She is their operations manager for providing with such a great adventure day. She got us all our passes and everything. She really, really hooked us up. Thank you to Michelle at their Swamp Water Cafe for just giving us the royal treatment. She just was a delight.
She was great.
She was really, really great.
And also the people at Big Cypress RV Resort and Campground for putting us up. We appreciate that.
We had a great time. Totally awesome, lovely place to stay.
And you can find Billie Swamp at billieswamp.com. That's Billie. Don't forget, to go to our website. You want to go to findingfloridapodcast.com and look at the show notes, because we post at least 40 to 60 pictures of every adventure.
So many.
Well, we have tons of pictures.
You'll find a picture of Okay, I have, it's making a thing, guys. It's now a thing where I squish Glenn in at least one picture. So go see which picture I squished Glenn in this
and
this
you can
adventure.
see me holding a snake.
It's holding a snake and picking an alligator's nose. I got a picture of Glenn picking the nose of an alligator. It's awesome.
So yes, you can find all of that. Definitely go look at the pictures. It really does put a visual to everything that we talked about in the show today.
Yes.
And that's at findingfloridapodcast.com.
You'll get to see what a human version of Olaf looks like.
Yes.
Because our swamp buggy tour guide was like Olaf. He was awesome. He was so great. So shout out one last time.
Yeah, everybody there was very friendly and a lot of fun. And they're very proud of where they are and where they work.
Yes.
And the Seminole people are very proud, too. The only native tribe not conquered.
That's right.
That's right. As we learned. My takeaway, and then we'll wrap, from this has been it's given me an opportunity to learn more about the history of the Seminole Indians.
Yeah.
And
you know what? I actually was shocked how much I hadn't learned any of that. I mean, I really didn't know any of their history here.
And we hope, too, that you've learned a little bit about the native people that live in our state.
Yeah.
Very good, everybody. FindingFloridaPodcast.com. Next month, we're heading to Tampa. Woohoo! We're going to head to Tampa Bay, and we're going to actually be going to the city of Tampa, and we're getting so much help from Kevin at Visit Tampa Bay, who's helping us put all this together. Thank you, Kevin. We're going to be doing, they have a beautiful river walk that runs for almost 2.5 miles along the river there, and we're going to be doing adventures all along the river walk, and some of them look like I could break more ribs. So there you go. I guess we'll give that a try.
We might get to check out another emergency room. Yeah.
So that's going to be next month. We're going to post the date and times. We're going to have a meetup for everybody that wants to meet us. There's a location where you'll be able to meet up with us.
Yeah, we're going to try to get our agenda up as early as possible. So we're going to figure out what spot you guys can meet us up if you want to come out and say hello. And that would be awesome.
And I think I picked out a bar, an outdoor bar, so that we can just have drinks together.
And drinks are on Glenn.
Yeah, there we go. Drinks are on the city of Tampa. They don't know that yet.
I don't know that.
FindingFloridaPodcast.com.
Here's to your next adventure.